The cold metallic corridor of the research station hummed with a soft, low vibration. Dr. Yoon Park stood near the large observation window, her eyes fixed on the rugged landscape outside. The planet they had chosen for research was harsh, rocky, terrain, minimal vegetation, and temperatures that could freeze water in seconds. Orion lay quietly in the adjacent chamber, his massive body stretched across a reinforced titanium platform. He wasn't just an animal. He was a carefully engineered companion, designed to survive in the most extreme environments humanity could imagine. Yoon reviewed the latest genetic scan data. Orion's body was a marvel of bioengineering, adaptive skin that could change molecular structure, enhanced neural networks that processed information faster than most supercomputers, and a metabolism that could convert almost any organic material into energy. The creature lifted his head, sensing something before any of the station's advanced sensors could detect it. His ears, not biological ears but sophisticated acoustic, receptors twitched slightly. Something was approaching. Outside, the rocky landscape began to shimmer. A subtle distortion in the atmosphere suggested incoming technology far beyond current human understanding. Orion's body started to change, muscles tensing beneath his adaptive skin. Dr. Park noticed the change immediately. "Status," she spoke, softly, her neural implant connecting directly with Orion's communication system. "Unknown vessel. Preliminary scan indicates non-human technological signature." Orion's response came not as sound, but as a direct neural transmission. The research station's automated defense systems were basic. They were designed for monitoring and scientific research, not active combat. Yoon knew that if something hostile approached, their primary protection would be Orion. Memories of how Orion came to be flickered through her mind. He was part of a experimental program, companions designed to protect human researchers in environments too dangerous for traditional security measures. Genetically engineered, technologically enhanced, with a bond that went beyond simple training. The first visual appeared on the station's primary screen. A massive vessel, unlike anything humans had previously encountered, was taking shape in the planet's thin atmosphere. Its design was angular, almost mathematical in its precision. "Incoming transmission," the station's AI announced in a neutral tone. Orion moved closer to Yoon, his body now fully alert. His adaptive skin had shifted to a mottled gray-brown, perfectly matching the station's interior walls. To an untrained eye, he might look like part of the machinery. The transmission was not in any human language. Complex mathematical sequences and geometric patterns flickered across the communication channels. Orion's advanced processors began decoding, translating, analyzing. "They're scanning." Orion's neural message was calm, precise. "Threat assessment in progress." Yoon's hand unconsciously reached out, touching a small panel near Orion. Their connection was more than technological. It was almost telepathic. Years of working together had created a bond that transcended traditional human-animal relationships. The station's external sensors began recording massive energy signatures. Whatever was approaching was not interested in communication. At least, not in any way humans would understand as communication. Orion's body continued to change. Microscopic adaptations occurred rapidly, his muscle density increasing, neural pathways becoming more complex, sensory receptors expanding their range. He was preparing, transforming into a living shield. "Stay close." His neural transmission to Yoon was clear and calm. Outside, the first shadows of the alien vessel began to block out the planet's dim sunlight. Something was about to happen. Something that would change everything humans understood about first contact, about companionship, about survival. Orion waited. Dr. Yoon Park watched. The research station continued its soft, steady hum, unaware that in moments everything would change. The first plasma bolt struck the research station's outer shell with a thunderous impact. Alarms screamed to life, their harsh electronic voices cutting through the station's previously calm atmosphere. Dr. Yoon Park was thrown sideways, her body sliding across the smooth metal floor. Orion moved with impossible speed. His adaptive skin had already transformed, turning into a living armor that reflected and absorbed incoming energy signatures. The creature positioned himself between Yoon and the growing chaos, blocking her from direct line of attack. Outside, alien vessels continued their assault. They moved with mathematical precision, each strike calculated to maximum destructive effect. The research station's defensive systems were nothing more than a mild inconvenience to their advanced weaponry. Threat level: critical. Orion's neural transmission hit Yoon's implant with crystal clarity. His body was no longer just a companion, it was becoming a weapon. The station's walls began to buckle. Sections of reinforced metal peeled away like paper, revealing the harsh planetary environment beyond. Freezing air rushed in carrying particles of rock and ice, but Orion's body adjusted instantly, creating a micro-environment around Yoon that protected her from the extreme conditions. Alien transmission signals flooded the station's communication systems. They were not attempting communication. This was pure elimination. Their scans had identified Orion as a potential threat, a creature to be destroyed without hesitation or negotiation. Yoon watched in a mix of terror and fascination as Orion began to counteract. His body was no longer just organic or technological, it was something entirely different. Microscopic defensive mechanisms emerged from his skin, creating electromagnetic fields that began to disrupt the incoming alien weaponry. The first wave of alien ground troops entered through the breached station walls. They were unlike anything humans had previously imagined. Crystalline structures that moved like liquid, capable of reshaping themselves instantaneously. Weapons grew from their bodies, energy weapons that could slice through most known materials. Orion met them head-on. His movement was not aggressive and it was calculated. Each motion was a perfect blend of defensive positioning and strategic counteraction. When the first alien entity reached out with its energy weapon, Orion's adaptive skin absorbed the strike, converting the energy into additional defensive capabilities. "Stay behind me." His neural transmission to Yoon was calm, almost gentle. The station continued to break apart around them. Sections of floor disappeared, revealing the rocky planetary surface below, but Orion maintained a stable platform, his body creating a protective bubble that defied conventional physics. Alien communications continued, complex mathematical sequences that suggested confusion. They had expected a simple elimination mission. Instead, they encountered something they could not comprehend. Orion was fighting, but not with traditional understanding of combat. Each movement was a complex calculation, each defensive action a scientific response. He was learning, adapting, transforming with each incoming attack. Yoon realized something profound was happening. This was not just a battle. This was a first contact scenario unlike any human had ever imagined. Her companion was revealing capabilities that suggested something far beyond a simple genetically engineered creature. The alien troops began to hesitate. Their weapon systems were being systematically neutralized. Orion's body was absorbing, reflecting, transforming their energy attacks into something entirely different. One by one, the alien ground troops began to retreat. Their mathematical precision was breaking down, replaced by what almost seemed like confusion. They had come to eliminate a threat. Instead, they were encountering something they could not understand. Orion remained perfectly positioned, protecting Yoon, maintaining their survival against impossible odds. The invasion was failing, and neither the aliens nor the humans fully understood why. The battle continued, with Orion standing as the perfect line of defense, a living shield that was rapidly becoming something more than anyone could have predicted. The station's remaining sections flickered with emergency lighting. Orion's body continued to adapt, displaying capabilities that went far beyond any standard genetic engineering protocols. Each movement was a complex calculation, each defensive action a scientific marvel. Alien communication signals grew more desperate. Their initial assumption of a simple elimination mission had transformed into a confused retreat strategy. Orion processed their signals faster than any known computer, understanding their language, predicting their next moves. Dr. Yoon Park watched in absolute amazement. Her companion was no longer just a protective entity. He was becoming a living weapon. System. Microscopic adaptations continued to emerge from his skin, creating electromagnetic fields that disrupted alien technology. The remaining alien ground troops attempted multiple attack vectors. Energy weapons that could slice through titanium-reinforced structures seemed to dissolve upon contact with Orion's adaptive skin. He was converting their attacks into additional defensive capabilities, learning with each incoming strike. One alien commander, visible through the station's damaged communication systems, seemed to be experiencing something close to panic. Their mathematical precision was breaking down. They had encountered a life form that defied all their computational models. Orion's neural link with Yoon continued to provide critical data. He was not just fighting, he was analyzing, understanding, preparing. Each alien attack became another piece of information to be processed, another opportunity to enhance his defensive capabilities. The planetary environment added another layer of complexity. Freezing temperatures and rocky terrain should have been a disadvantage. Instead, Orion transformed these conditions into additional defensive mechanisms. His body absorbed environmental energy, converting it into protective shields. Yoon realized they were witnessing something extraordinary. This was not just a battle. This was a demonstration of evolutionary potential that humanity had only dreamed about. Orion represented something more than a simple companion or genetically engineered creature. Alien troops began to retreat systematically. Their initial confidence had transformed into a calculated withdrawal. They were learning that this target was not what their initial scans had suggested. Orion maintained a perfect defensive position. His body created a protective bubble around Yoon, maintaining a stable environment despite the station's continued destruction. Sections of metal and technology continued to break away, revealing the harsh planetary landscape. Communication signals between alien vessels grew more complex. They were attempting to understand, to analyze, to comprehend what they were experiencing. Orion's capabilities exceeded their most advanced computational models. One particularly advanced alien scanner attempted a deep biological scan. The results confused their systems completely. Orion's genetic structure was not just adaptive, it was revolutionary. Each cell functioned like a miniature computer, processing information faster than traditional biological systems. The battle continued, but it was no longer a traditional conflict. It had transformed into something more, a demonstration of evolutionary potential, a clash of technological understanding. Alien commanders began emergency communication protocols. Their mission was no longer about elimination. Now, it was about understanding, about comprehending this unexpected resistance. Orion remained calm. His neural link with Yoon continued to provide critical information. They were not just surviving, they were demonstrating something profound about potential, about adaptation, about the nature of life itself. The station's remaining sections continued to break apart. But within this destruction, something remarkable was happening. A creature designed as a companion was revealing capabilities that would change everything humans understood about genetic engineering, about companion species, about survival. The resistance continued, and with each passing moment, the aliens were learning a critical lesson. They had drastically underestimated their target. Orion stood ready. Shun remained protected. The battle was far from over. Captain J. Kim's battlecruiser emerged from hyperspace like a silent predator. The massive vessel cut through the planetary atmosphere, its advanced sensors already mapping the destruction below. Earth's response was going to be swift and precise. Tracking alien vessel signatures, the ship's AI announced. Multiple holographic displays showed the damaged research station and the alien fleet's position. This was no ordinary rescue mission. This was a statement of human capability. Communication channels from the research station were fragmented but clear. Dr. Yoon Park's emergency beacon had transmitted critical data about Orion's extraordinary defensive capabilities. The military understood immediately. This was more than a simple rescue. Tactical teams prepared for deployment. These were not standard infantry. They were specialized units trained for extreme planetary conditions and potential first contact scenarios. Each soldier carried advanced adaptive technology, inspired by the very genetic engineering that created Orion. The alien fleet began to detect the incoming human vessel. Their previous confidence had been shattered by Orion's unexpected resistance. Now they faced a new threat, a human military response that promised total commitment. Companion defense protocol activated. Captain Kim's voice was calm, almost mechanical. Years of military training had prepared him for scenarios that pushed the boundaries of traditional understanding. Orbital scanning systems began their precise work. The planetary surface became a three-dimensional map of destruction, showing every detail of the initial alien assault. Orion's defensive actions were already being analyzed by multiple computational systems. The battlecruiser's weapons systems came online. Unlike the alien technology, human weaponry was a perfect blend of precision and overwhelming force. Each weapon was calibrated to respond to the specific energy signatures detected from the alien fleet. Alien vessels began to reposition. Their mathematical precision was now mixed with something close to fear. They had come to eliminate what they thought was a simple threat. Instead, they had discovered a species capable of creating companions like Orion. Tactical teams prepared drop pods. These were not traditional military units. They were advanced response teams with genetic modifications that allowed them to adapt to extreme conditions instantly. Their primary mission: secure Dr. Park and Orion. The first plasma strikes from the human battlecruiser were surgical. Each hit disabled specific alien vessel systems without complete destruction. This was a message. Humanity could disable them completely if required. Communication channels opened. The alien fleet received a simple, clear transmission. Cease. Hostile actions. Immediate withdrawal required. Orion continued his defensive stance on the damaged research station. His body had become a living data transmission point, sharing critical information about the alien assault. Each moment provided humanity with unprecedented insights into potential extraterrestrial threats. Captain Kim watched the tactical displays with professional calm. This was more than a rescue mission. This was a demonstration of human technological and adaptive capabilities. Orion had already changed the understanding of companion species. Drop pods launched with perfect precision. They cut through the planetary atmosphere, carrying specialized teams designed to extract Dr. Park and Orion. Each pod was a miniature technological marvel, capable of adapting to extreme planetary conditions. The alien fleet began a systematic withdrawal. Their initial confidence had transformed into a calculated retreat. They had discovered something unexpected. Humanity's commitment to protecting its own was absolute. Orbital systems continued their precise scanning. Every moment provided additional data about the alien technology, about Orion's extraordinary capabilities. This was a scientific and military opportunity beyond traditional understanding. Dr. Park would be rescued. Orion would be secured. And humanity would learn from this unexpected encounter. The human response was complete, precise, overwhelming. A clear message had been sent to the universe. Do not underestimate humanity or its companions. The research facility's medical bay hummed with quiet intensity. Dr. Yoon Park sat quietly, her injuries minimal but her mind racing with the implications of what had just occurred. Orion stood nearby, his massive frame now calm but still radiating an intense energy. Diplomatic channels across Earth were burning with activity. The alien encounter had revealed more than just a simple conflict. It had exposed humanity's extraordinary technological capabilities. Military analysts, scientific researchers, and government officials worked around the clock to process the data. Orion's genetic structure became the most studied biological sample in human history. Each cell told a story of advanced engineering, of potential that went far beyond traditional understanding of genetic modification. Scientists discovered that he was more than a companion. He was a living technological platform. The alien fleet's leadership received a formal communication from Earth's diplomatic corps. It was not an angry response, but a calculated message of technological superiority. The terms were clear. Complete withdrawal and significant reparations would be required. Genetic research facilities began immediate studies of Orion's adaptive capabilities. His ability to transform, to learn, to protect, had opened entirely new fields of scientific exploration. What they had considered impossible was now sitting quietly in a medical observation room. Captain J. Kim submitted his official report. Each word was carefully chosen, describing Orion not as a weapon but as a companion that demonstrated humanity's potential for creating extraordinary protective systems. The report would become a landmark document in human-alien relations. Global media channels buzzed with the story. Images of Orion protecting Dr. Park spread across every communication network. He was no longer just a scientific experiment. He had become a symbol of human innovation and protective capability. The alien civilization's galactic standing took a significant hit. Their initial aggressive approach had backfired completely. What they thought was a simple elimination mission had exposed their technological limitations. Dr. Park watched Orion with a mixture of scientific curiosity and deep emotional connection. Their bond went beyond traditional human-companion relationships. They had survived something extraordinary together. Research teams continued their analysis. Orion's adaptive skin could potentially revolutionize multiple scientific fields, from medical technology to space exploration. Each test revealed new layers of complexity. Diplomatic negotiations began in earnest. The alien civilization was required to provide detailed information about their scanning and attack protocols. In exchange, they would receive limited technological exchanges with humanity. Orion remained calm throughout the various examinations. His neural systems continued to process and analyze, demonstrating capabilities that went far beyond initial design parameters. He was learning, adapting, growing. The research station's destroyed remains became a protected site. Every piece of debris would be studied, analyzed, understood. The encounter had provided humanity with unprecedented insights into potential extraterrestrial threats. Global scientific communities celebrated a new era of understanding. Orion represented more than a successful genetic engineering project. He was proof of humanity's extraordinary potential for innovation. Dr. Park's research funding was immediately expanded. The companion program that created Orion would receive unlimited resources. Governments and scientific institutions understood the profound implications of their discovery. Orion moved closer to Yoon, his massive frame gentle despite his incredible defensive capabilities. Their connection was more than technological. It was a bond that defied traditional understanding of companionship. The alien fleet completed its withdrawal, leaving behind a clear message. Humanity was not to be underestimated. What seemed like a simple research station had become a turning point in galactic understanding. Scientists would spend years studying this single encounter. Orion would become a legend, a companion that had changed humanity's understanding of protection, adaptation, and potential. The consequences were just beginning.